I'm Melissa Chapman, the Associate Judge for the Walton County Probate Court and the Chair of the Walton County Chamber of Commerce Advocacy and Public Policy Committee. I'm a county resident and I do not vote in these elections. Thank you to Walton County for allowing us to use this beautiful historic courthouse to host the forum tonight. We're pleased to host the political candidate forum tonight to allow the citizens of Loganville, Social Circle, and Monroe to hear from the candidates seeking election for mayor, city council, and the Social Circle School Board. Candidates, I want to direct your attention to the time clock. It will be set for your allotted speaking time for opening remarks, answering questions, and closing remarks. When your time is up, please finish your sentence and your time will end. If you continue beyond your allotted time, I will intervene to maintain order and provide equal time for all the candidates. Tonight, each candidate will have 2 minutes to make opening statements or introductions. Following all introductions, we will ask the candidates pre-submitted questions, and each candidate will have 1 minute to answer each question. We have randomly rotated the order of the candidates for answering each question. After the questions, each candidate will have 1 minute to make closing or rebuttal remarks if needed. We will begin with the City of Loganville, followed by a brief break and set up for the City of Social Circle at 6:45 p.m., and then the City of Monroe will begin at 7:50. Everybody ready? Okay, let's begin. First, we have candidates from the City of Loganville. The mayoral candidates are Brandon Whitfield and John Sosebee. The City Council candidates are Joseph or Joey Bastian, Keith Colquitt, Melanie Long, Toyin Wakil Olaulua. Did I say that right?
You did good.
Okay. And Wes Johnson. All right, we'll begin with our 2-minute introductions. Mr. Whitfield.
All right. Time clock? All right. I believe a lot of y'all in the room already know me, but those who are watching, I'm Brandon Whitfield. I grew up in Loganville. I love Loganville. I'm raising my 2 daughters in Loganville. I've been a part of a lot of stuff in Loganville. I've been 4 years on council. I spent 2 years on the Loganville Development Authority, so I have a lot of experience in what's going on locally. I'm also a member of our Loganville Lions Club, and I'm also on the Northeast Georgia Scouting Board. So I have a lot of experience in leadership. I really love our community. I got my Eagle Scout there in Loganville, played on many of the baseball teams, many of the, where the Rock Gym is, playing basketball there. I remember growing up going to that. I really want to serve Loganville because I love the community. I really want to make sure that one day my girls will be proud to want to move back after college if they decide to go to college. They actually want to live in Loganville. So I want to keep Loganville a fun, happy, safe place for everybody to live. Some of my biggest goals would be to implement strategies, actual planning sessions for council so we can help get on the same page. I know a lot of people that have watched recent council meetings know how they've devolved into some arguments. I think we need to find ways that we can work together on common goals. For example, if we all like historical preservation, we can focus on that instead of fighting over every little thing. So I'm just happy to be here. Thank you all for hosting. I believe we're all excited to be here, and that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you. Mr. Sosebee.
Good evening. I'd like to say thank you for having me. My name is John Sosebee. I am a citizen of Loganville, Georgia. I have been for 23 years. I started my own business 11 years ago in Loganville. I employ 7 employees at that business that I started by myself. I love Loganville. I think the time is right for a change in the leadership of Loganville. I want to be a unifier, not a divider, so that we can all work together for the same thing, which is moving Loganville forward. There are a lot of issues in Loganville to be dealt with. I bring a lifetime worth of experience. There's several issues that are pressing, transportation being one, being able to move the traffic around. Infrastructure, we're already overburdened. We've got over 1,000 new houses coming up coming online. So I think it's really time that we have a leadership change and actually affect change and have a board that all work together so we can all move Loganville to the vision that everybody wants to see. Again, I'd like to say thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing y'all.
Thank you. Mr. Bastian.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Bastian, but everyone calls me Joey, so you're free to call me Joey. I first want to thank you all for coming out tonight. You all are very concerned citizens, and that's why we're here tonight, to make sure that we elect representatives that represent our interests here in Loganville. I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. My husband and I, we purchased our home in Loganville about 2 years ago, and we love it there. The purpose of us moving to Loganville was because of the community, and Loganville is a place where everyone matters. Some of the things that I'm interested in doing in Loganville is being a mouthpiece for the constituents. I want to make sure that I listen to your concerns and bring them to the council. In addition to that, I've been on this campaign and I've been able to speak with a number of people, young, old, from different backgrounds, and we all have sort of the same theme. Loganville has limited restaurants, and that's something that we definitely want to see improved. We want a nice steakhouse or somewhere to go out. Also, with our park space, we have limited green space, particularly for dogs. I'm a dog owner, we're a dog owner, we love our 2 little dogs, and we would love to have some place for our dogs to go and also meet other community members as well. I think that would be a great upgrade to our community. A little bit more about my background. I have a background in finance. I worked for Sherwin-Williams as a finance associate. And before that, I worked at Fort Sill National Bank as a bank manager. So what brings me here today, I hope you all will vote for me for city council. I hope to be a consensus candidate and someone that you all can trust. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Colquitt.
Hi, good evening. Again, thank you for having us and hosting this event. It's great to be able to be out and speak to the citizens of our local governments. And I just want to say that I've been a resident of Loganville for 21 years. My wife and I and sons moved out there in 2001 on New Year's Day, and been there and just really enjoy living there, being involved there. I've been involved with the city as the Planning Commission chairman for the past 4 years. So I've got an idea of what's going on in the city and what the citizens like and don't like. Pretty good relationship with the city manager and others there within the city. And I look forward to working with them and doing better development for the downtown area to echo off of Bastian here. The parks need some upgrading, and I'd like to see some things done there that'll keep the people in town instead of having to make them drive to other places to do what they like to do. And then, again, focus on the infrastructure. That is something that needs to be updated here in Loganville, and if we can work together as a good community, city council, I'm sure we can get that done. A little bit about me. I've been in supervision and management positions since the age of 19. I started off in the retail business. I tell everybody I was the original Al Bundy, so I'm telling you my age right there if you know who Al Bundy is. But I've been in just about every mall in the Atlanta area with the exception of Cumberland Mall. I have been in government. I started with Gwinnett County in 2005 as code enforcement supervisor, and I retired there in 2018. I'm still in code enforcement with a company called Charles Abbott Associates out of California, and I'm currently stationed over in Brookhaven as a code enforcement manager there. So I've got a good background in zoning and enforcement and understanding how things within the city and government kind of work and play out. So I think that I would be a good choice. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Long?
Thank you. Good evening, and I want to thank the Chamber for having us here tonight. I also want to extend good luck to all of my fellow candidates. I'm sure whoever gets elected will do a fine job. I'm a 43-year resident of Loganville. I graduated from Loganville High School in 1984. In 1991, I started Lock, Stock, and Barrel Locksmith Service. That makes this my 34th year in business for myself, so I know what it takes to start a business from nothing and watch it grow and to become one of the most successful locksmith shops in the state. You probably want to know how I got involved in city politics. And after having the city of Loganville attempt to take my home through eminent domain, I decided I would run for public office because I felt that it was important for the citizens to have someone looking out for them to prevent such an invasive overreach of the government in the future. So in 2020, I won my bid for council, and I was the top vote getter at that time. So apparently my message resonated with the people. The citizens of Loganville need council members that work for them and not for developers. And my only promise to the citizens back in 2020 was to never vote for apartments. I held true to my word, and for the last 4 years, I have voted against every single high-density project that has come before the council. And if elected, I will continue to vote against high density in Loganville. My voting record will speak for itself, and if you put me back in a seat on the dais, I promise to fight as hard, if not harder, than I have fought for the past 4 years. I will work for you, I will represent you, and I will bring your voice to the table each and every time I sit at a chair at the council. And I want to thank you for the amazing opportunity to serve you for the last 4 years. It has truly been one of the highlights of my life, and it's been an incredible honor for so many people to have put their faith in me. And I hope that you feel that I've served you well, and I hope that come November 4th, your vote will show me that you do.
Thank you. Mr. Ola Olua?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. My name is Tony Olalua. Thank you for hosting this event. I'm a retired law enforcement person from DeKalb County. I retired in 2010. I actually moved to Loganville in 1995. I moved to the city limit in 2015. I'm also a business owner in Loganville. Currently, I'm a member of the Planning and Development Board, where we hear and deliberate on various issues related to planning and zoning and make recommendations to the City Council. I am running for City Council to advocate for transparent governance, open communication with residents. We prioritize public safety by increasing funding for local police and fire services, promote sustainable development and green initiatives to protect our environment, advocate for the installation of sidewalks throughout the city to ensure the safety of all residents, support local business to stimulate economic growth, and foster community engagement by organizing regular town hall meetings and forums. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. We appreciate the opportunity to get out and speak to the citizens of Loganville. My name is Wes Johnson. I'm running for City Council. A little bit about myself. I have 31 years in public safety. I work with fire. I've been in the operation end of fire for over 31 years, as I said. I currently own my own business in property management. Doing property management has widened my range of things to see that is going on and how to grow and to develop some of our city. Some of the needs that I see in our city is our infrastructure. We have a huge problem with our infrastructure. Roads are overpacked with vehicles. We currently have a new library coming on board. I would like to exercise our library into some sort of like a trade type school, quiet rooms, also testing prop centers. I know that that's probably not something that City Council does, but it's the voice of getting the seed started within our city to start things to happen. If we don't state it, we don't make it happen. So we really need to push the trade schools for our younger generation and for people that are out of schools. Number three, green spaces. Green spaces within our city. There's no activities for our children and for adults and families to be able to do anything. If you vote Wes Johnson in, he's going to push those issues to make sure that we get those things in place, because we need things to do within our city than just the basic things. We need family activity things. And if you vote for Wes Johnson, he's going to be pushing for your fire and your police as well as your green space and your growth and working with DOT. If we don't have a voice with DOT, we're not going to make anything happen, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, question 1. What is your vision for the revitalization of downtown Loganville? We'll start with the mayoral candidates, Mr. Sosby.
For the revitalization of downtown Loganville, I would like to see architecture and buildings that fall into the lines of what we already have established. The historical buildings, we need to keep the facades like that. I would like to see additional parking. I would like to see additional green spaces. I would like to see activities. We already have quite a few, but I would like to see more activities for families on the greens, in the shops. I'd like to see the shops full. I'd like to see the buildings full. I'd like to see additional buildings built and the infrastructure fixed.
You finished?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Whitfield.
All right, so I have done a lot. I've been on economic development for 4 years. I helped recruit Tacos and Beer to come to Loganville, all the way here from Monroe. And I'm real excited to have them. There's a lot that goes into it. With our code rewrite that we're doing with the city, a lot of what our code is going to entail is going to have architectural standards. And with that, the citizens are actually going to tell us what they want to see downtown. Because I can tell you what I want, but it's up to council to vote. The mayor only breaks a tiebreaker. But I do have a lot of experience in that area. I've toured other downtowns with their leadership, not just with GMA, but with the Georgia Downtown Association. So I know how they've gotten things and projects done. So I like to use those tips and tricks and bring them to Loganville to see us succeed. But our first step is we need more foot traffic downtown. A true live, work, play environment in downtown is what we need to go for.
Thank you. Mr. Colquitt.
For the revitalization of downtown, I too would like to keep the hometown look to the downtown area, and that can be done in many ways. And I think with the rewrite of the ordinances coming up with the city, we can put those architectural stipulations in place and make sure that the people coming in to develop stay to those standards as well. I would like to see businesses that will be downtown that will draw people to be downtown. There's times you come downtown after 7 o'clock and it's nothing going on. So I would love to see some things that would keep the business going on. And like others, I would love to see the walkable area. We need sidewalks. We need better sidewalks to allow that to happen there. And then again, the parking, we need to find some places that we can do that. But if we can do that, keep the walkability and the inviting part of it, I think that would be a big start to revitalization of downtown. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
Okay, as far as the city, the rewrite is a big plus for the city of Loganville. Currently, I think the city council is working on rewriting. They have two different vendors that have came in to give estimates on the rewrite for the codes and how the city is actually going to be constructed. Some of those things, such as I said before, green spaces, they're crucial. Those are family activities. Those are things that we can do. Activities must continue throughout our city, meaning having car shows, food trucks, having cook-offs, doing family activities and bringing those things in place. Along with that, you want to make sure that you install some lighting to create more lighting and more of a lighted area, more of a like a vintage type style look to give it a trendy look. I think if we can bring a trendy look, we can bring a little bit better perception towards Loganville.
Thank you. Ms. Long.
Thank you. As I say all the time, there's more to Loganville than just the 6 blocks on Main Street. but that's all anybody ever wants to focus on. So having said that, what we first need to address if we're going to see a successful Main Street is we're going to have to address the infrastructure. The infrastructure under our street in downtown Loganville is over 100 years old, so you can't bring a lot of business in and have them hook it into your infrastructure because it just won't support it. So I'd like to see us address that before we do anything, and we are working on working to rewrite our ordinances, and those ordinances will include the downtown overlay district, which where we will address our architectural standards and things like that that will specifically address the downtown corridor in its own separate entity. I had a business on Main Street for over a decade. I'd love to move back to Main Street. And so I hope that we do see a lot of interest in people coming in and wanting to share Main Street.
Thank you. Mr. Bastian?
Thank you very much. We've all spoken about downtown. As I've started this campaign, I've spoken to a lot of my neighbors, and that's one of the issues that's always coming up is downtown. I personally would like to see more restaurants, perhaps a microbrewery in the downtown area, or a wine room. I can tell you one thing I don't want to see is apartments in our downtown. So I will not support that. And I also mentioned earlier about the dog park because I am a dog lover. I would love to see a dog park down in downtown Loganville where our citizens can come and meet and enjoy each other as well.
Thank you. Mr. Ola Olua?
Yes, thank you. Loganville is not a small city anymore. It's growing very fast. As a matter of fact, when I moved down here 30 years ago, it wasn't like this. Now, even 10 years ago, it's still growing. What I'd like to see is to create a vision of walkable, mixed-use community where increased green space, trails for bicycle and walking, a redeveloped downtown, quality housing and hotels, which offer residents and tourists an actual work-life play-shop environment. We must continue to develop a comprehensive plan as community guide for growth and improvement to public services, community resources, local policy, and built environment. This plan must establish ground rules for how community will develop and invest. The plan must also provide a foundation for decision-making in support of achieving short- and long-term goals of transportation. We must ensure alignment with the regional transportation plan, which include regional and local objectives.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, your time expired.
That's fine.
You can,
I'm good.
you can use your 1-minute closing as rebuttal if you would like.
That's fine.
All right, the next question. In what scenario would you support a tax increase? Mr. Whitfield?
Wow, okay. I don't think anybody ever is going to ever support a tax increase. But I know why that question was asked. But we haven't had a millage rate increase in a very long time in Loganville. We've always accepted the rollback rate presented us by the county. So unless it's very, very dire straits, I don't ever see us needing to do that. We've always stayed in budget, and we actually have a very healthy reserve fund. We've been taught to save for a rainy day in my business, and that's what we do at the City of Loganville.
Thank you. Mr. Sosebee?
I would never vote for a tax increase, ever. There's other ways around with funding from other districts, other agencies, where we can roll back some of the things we do and we spend money on. We need to be fiscally conservative with that money, and never in my term would we ever raise taxes.
Thank you. Mr. Ola Olua?
Yes, ma'am. Tax increase is pretty much what needs to happen if we have to grow the city. But it must be limited and gradual. I'm sorry. Can I go back?
Go ahead. They're
Oh, okay, good. So the time limit, the tax increase must be limited and gradual, and If we bring enough business to the city, we should be able to get taxes from those businesses, and that way the community don't have to suffer big tax increase. I will support small tax increase, but not that much.
Thank you. Ms. Long.
I don't foresee any reason that I would support a tax increase until we have trimmed every ounce of fat and unnecessary expenditures out of our budget. There's a lot of things in Loganville that can be trimmed as it is now. So it would be a long time before I would see any reason that a tax increase would need to be brought. As a matter of fact, the city council each year that I've been on council, we've taken the rollback and we've actually rolled your taxes back. So barring some unforeseen emergency or any other event like that, like I said, until we have trimmed every ounce of fat, I would not be in support of any type of tax increase.
Thank you. Mr. Colquitt?
I too would not support any tax increase. It would really have to be dire straits. The city manager and the finance manager within the city have been working very well to keep the city ahead, keep it in a good ratio of funds, that there's no need to do the tax increase. Like everybody said, they voted to roll the millage back every year instead of making it go up. So it would really have to be something very, very bad financially to even think about doing a tax increase on the citizens.
Thank you. Mr. Bastian?
Absolutely not. I do not support any tax increase. Personally, I think our taxes are too high already. We're about to get hit with another tax increase here in Walton County. So under no circumstance is a tax increase needed or even necessary. So that's not something that I'm interested in.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
I'm not for tax increase. There's other avenues that I think we can consider, such as grants, funding from the government, and other ways of doing business, more research and development, and finding out if we can use other type situations to find the money to bring it into the city. But I am not for tax increase for the city of Loganville.
Thank you. All right, question 3. What areas of Loganville need improvement, and how can the improvements be made? Mr. Sosebee, you'll go first.
In the city limits of Loganville, there are a lot of empty retail spaces as it is. We need to figure out how to backfill those spaces. We need to improve the areas other than just downtown. There's neighborhoods that the ditches don't get cut. There's areas that don't get taken care of. There's empty space that needs to be dealt with. I don't know one particular part of town that actually is in dire straits. I haven't heard from anybody say one way or the other. I know my side of town that I live on seems to be the dumping area. I'd like to see it taken care of. We don't even have street lights over where I'm at.
Okay. Mr. Whitfield?
Obviously, I'm a downtown champion, so I'm going to say downtown Loganville. Your downtown area is where your heart is. When you say, I'm from Monroe, they think about their downtown and how much pride they take in that. We need to have that same pride in Loganville with our downtown. So the quick 3 easy ones would be address blight and then make it cute. Because if you bring women downtown, they're going to bring their purses and their children, and especially their husbands. So those are 2 areas we need to address fast. Obviously, we need lighting. We have touched some lighting already. And sidewalks, I know a lot of us have talked about that. We did talk about sidewalks at our last meeting, applying for a grant that I hope that we get, because sidewalks are very important. Once you get outside of Main Street, there's very few far between. There's people that live within the quarter mile that can't even walk there.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
Can you reread the question again, please?
Sure. What areas of Loganville need improvement, and how can the improvements be made?
Okay, first of all, the city of Loganville downtown is the core of the appearance of Loganville. from my personal opinion, but I would have to get with the other council people, but my personal opinion, I think we need to start in one zone and focus on one zone and take it and break it down into 4s and work on the one zone and create it to be more lit up, make sure the buildings look nice and presentable, and to create it to be more family events, to where we can have restaurants more than chicken restaurants. I know I'm the only one that's going to say that. We need more steak restaurants more than what we currently have. I think we need to bring in different type restaurants within our city to bring more people to come there to enjoy their time.
Mr. Bastian.
Yes, absolutely. Top 3 things I think in Loganville that I think we can improve on. We mentioned the restaurants. We definitely need some sort of restaurant association or a restaurant council to go out and address those issues. I think that would be a prime use of our time to help solve that problem. In addition to our city hall, over by that city hall park, I'm not sure if y'all ever been over there or ever took your kids over there. Probably not, because the park is kind of dead. That park definitely needs some improvement. And if we're interested in bringing people down to downtown, there needs to be things to do for not only the adults, but also the kids. So play spaces for the kids downtown would be ideal, and I think that would be a simple fix for the council to do, to be able to bring more attention to the areas that I feel that are problems.
Thank you. Mr. Colquitt.
I too think that the downtown development would be a perfect starting place. The green spaces, bringing more people. There's already plans, from what I hear and what I've been involved with, for some changes on the downtown area for the green space. One other thing that, in my line of business, that I look at is the property maintenance. There's some areas that are really blighted, and I think that if we could allow the code enforcement to do a better job, or even get another person to help out with code enforcement in the city, that would make a big, big difference.
Thank you. Mr. Ola Olua.
Yes, ma'am. I see that road improvement is needed, to bring more businesses. We need to reduce the traffic. I mean, as a matter of fact, to reduce the traffic in downtown. Retail businesses are needed to increase to help with the lagging taxes, and lighting in all areas are needed. Sidewalk needs to increase, and we need to improve our parks.
Thank you. Ms. Long.
Thank you. To know what areas of Loganville need improvement, one needs not look any further than get in your car and drive through Loganville. I've attempted for the last couple of years to get the city to hire a second code enforcement officer, and we always seem to find something that is more important. But cleaning up our city as a whole, a lot of our areas have become dumping grounds, and you can go and you can ride. There's mattresses, there's furniture, because on moving day, when a lot of people move out of our high-density developments, they end up going just a little bit further down the road and they dump out their mattresses and furniture. We need to start staying on top of that a little bit better. Also, too, I've been a huge proponent of being more strict with our detention ponds. A lot of the people that live in the neighborhoods know what a mess those are. So I think areas of improvement, we need to look at detention ponds, code enforcement, and things like that. But as far as if we're looking at where do we want to improve Loganville, obviously it would be downtown.
Thank you. You'll each now have 1 minute for making closing remarks or rebuttal. Mr. Sosebee, you'll go first.
Well, again, I'd like to thank y'all for having us out tonight. I know no is easy and yes is hard. So you have to work for what you want. There is no handouts. You have to get in there and actually do the work. I am prepared to do the work for the citizens of Loganville from day one. And I'd like to see us move the city forward to all the ideas that we can put together and bring forward as a community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Whitfield.
Thank you. I'm excited for Loganville's future, and I hope y'all are too. We have a lot of good things that are going, especially in downtown. We got the library coming. They did fix some of the infrastructure when they came there, replacing a lot of the pipes. We got some exciting things coming downtown. We have some of the best events around. We want to make sure we keep that going. But going forward with our code rewrite, I think that's the biggest area to really take away from, because downtown is very important, but how we build as a whole. You build for people first, and a more walkable, well-connected community works for everybody. And I'm just happy to serve, happy to be here, and we'd be happy to represent everybody in Loganville.
Thank you. Mr. Ola Olua.
Thank you so much. I want to thank the organizer for taking the time and efforts to host this forum. I also thank the community for coming to hear from each one of us. If elected, I will ensure that we promote sustainable development to protect our environment and green spaces. I will vote to improve the city local infrastructure, including roads, drainage, and sidewalk. I will support small business and foster community engagement by hosting regular town hall meetings and forums. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bastian.
Thank you so much for this opportunity this evening. This has been a joy. I just want to remind you all, November 4th is the election. To the folks that's here and online, I would ask for your vote if you are interested in a candidate that is getting results done. That's what I'm interested in, and I'm not about talk. So I have some yard signs here. If you're wanting to support me, we have some yard signs downstairs. I would love for you to support me. And also my website, if you want any more information, it's www.friendsofjoey.com. Thank you so much for coming out today. And if you have any other questions, I'll be around. Stick around to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Long.
Thank you. I've been around Loganville for quite a while, so y'all all know me and you know my heart. And my heart is the people of Loganville. So I'm actually going to take my minute because I want to mention one of Loganville's warriors who went home to be with the Lord today. Mr. Paul Smith is a Loganville fighter. He fought for Loganville, and my thoughts and prayers are with him today and his family. And just a few weeks ago, he sent me a message, and he said, "You have my vote." And while Paul won't be here on Election Day, to know that I had the support of a man that loved Loganville as much as I do, that means something to me. But I ask those of you who have respected me the last 4 years in my position and have liked what I've done, I ask that you would continue to vote for me because it would be my honor to serve you for another 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
First of all, I want to thank the residents of the city of Loganville for your time of watching us and hearing us all debate and giving our what we would like to do within your city. Code rewrites are very important to me because we can't move to the next levels of our city until we have those ordinances in place. Working with DOT is critical. We have to work with the DOT because we are surrounded by multiple highways within the city. We've got to create a relationship working with them to move forward within our growth of our city. Working with getting different restaurants within our city, doing whatever it takes to make sure that we get better restaurants within the city. Green spaces, they're crucial for me. I think that that's very important for families and actually recreation of being able to get out there and actually be able to do something within your city. So if you elect Wes Johnson, he's going to fight for you to be able to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Colquitt.
Thank you. Again, thank you for hosting us this evening, and those that are online, thanks for watching, and those that came out, thank you so much. I want to look at this as an opportunity to further what I am doing with the city of Loganville. I love being a resident there. I've loved it for the past 21 years, and I'd love to do more for you folks, all of you folks. I want to be a representative of everybody in the city of Loganville, and I don't want to be thought of as a politician, but rather a public servant, and that's what I'd like to do for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all the candidates. The City of Loganville Forum is now concluded, and we will begin the City of Social Circle Forum at 6:45. Evening. We'll now have the political candidate forum for the City of Social Circle, the City Council District 1 candidates, school board candidates for chair and District 3. Candidates, I want to direct your attention to the time clock. It will be set for your allotted speaking time for opening remarks, answering questions, and closing remarks. When your time is up, please finish your sentence and your time will end. If you continue to speak, I will intervene to maintain order and allow for equal time for all the candidates. You will have 2 minutes to make opening statements or introductions. Following all introductions, we'll ask the candidates pre-submitted questions, and each candidate will have 1 minute to answer each question. We have randomly rotated the order of the candidates for answering each question. After the questions, each candidate will have 1 minute to make closing or rebuttal remarks if needed. Everybody ready?
Yes.
We do not have Mr. Bradford, Justin Bradford. He is a candidate for City Council District 1, and Seneca Ellison is also not here. So, that being said, can everybody silence their cell phones, please? We'll begin with 2-minute opening remarks. Ms. Price, you will go first.
Good evening. My name is Teresa Price, and I am honored to be here and serve my community as I have been for the last 20 years as the city councilman for District 1, also the mayor pro temp. So thank you for allowing me to speak. First of all, I would like to say I was born and raised in Social Circle, and then I attended college where I received my first degree, and also went back many years later to receive a second degree. I have a Bachelor of Administration degree and a Bachelor of Science degree in Network Communications. And it has been a great pleasure serving Social Circle, and I intend to bring unity, opportunities, and hopefully lower our property taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Morris.
Thank you. I am Taylor Morris. I have served as the Social Circle City School Board Chair since August of 2023. I was appointed by the board when the previous chairman stepped down. I ran 2 years ago, so 2 elections in 2 years. I don't know if that's punishment or the Lord working on my patience, but to fill the remainder of the term, and I'm running again. I am raising second-generation Redskins. My husband was born and raised in Social Circle. We have 2 boys that are in 7th and 9th grade. They've only ever attended Social Circle City Schools. I have lived there for 14 years. It's a great place to live and raise children. And it's a really special place that deserves our protection, and also guiding to get us to where we need to be and not resting and staying comfortable with where we are. A little bit about me. I am a serial entrepreneur. We start businesses. I am not college educated. I tried it and it was not for me. But I think that's some of the beauty of the school board is we have a lot of people with different backgrounds, and it helps us make decisions for all of our kids. I love the schools. I love the community. And I'm just thankful to be here. Thank you to the Chamber for hosting us tonight.
Thank you. Mr. McGuire.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Chadwick McGuire. I'm honored to be here tonight as a candidate for school board chair. Proud to say I attended Social Circle City Schools from pre-K through 12th grade. This community shaped me, and now I have the privilege of raising 5 children who are currently enrolled in our school system. Their experiences and mine as a parent give me a deep understanding of both the strengths that we get to celebrate as well as the challenges we must address. This community shaped me, and my goal has been to give back through service, mentorship, and leadership. Whether volunteering as a traffic monitor to help keep our campuses safe, coaching youth sports, mentoring, serving on the Parent Advisory Council, lending a voice to help develop the district strategy, or volunteering to do interior and exterior perimeter checks for safety, I've always believed in showing up for our students. Professionally, I bring over 20 years of leadership experience, including service as a staff sergeant and captain in the United States Air Force, and currently as a squadron deputy commander for the Civil Air Patrol. I hold a doctorate in business administration, and I've worked across education, logistics, and technology, always with a focus on building systems that serve people. As school board chair, I will prioritize transparency, safety, and academic excellence. I'll advocate for programs that prepare students for college, careers, and service, and I'll work to ensure our schools are inclusive, well-resourced, and responsive to the needs of families and educators. This campaign is about giving back and leading forward. It's about continuing the work we've started and building a school system that reflects the values and potential of our entire community. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sanford Flint.
Good evening. My name is Sabrina Sanford Flint, and I am seeking re-election to the Board of Education of Social Circle City Schools. I was born in Bad Kreuznach, Germany, on a military base. My parents and I returned to Social Circle by the time it was time for me to start school. I graduated from Social Circle High School in 1992 and continued my education at Morris Brown College for undergrad and Clark Atlanta University for graduate school. My family and I are proud graduates of Social Circle City Schools. After being away for college and graduate school for 7 years, the year of completion, I returned home to my home of Social Circle. This is where I chose to raise my sons. They attended the school that helped me become the active citizen I am today. In 2000, I started my career with the Department of Family and Children's Services. I devoted my professional and personal time to being heavily involved in making a difference in my church, my school, and my community. I am a member of the Walton County Partnership, Walton Youth Project, the AP Henderson Scholarship Foundation, the Juneteenth Committee, the Principal Council at the high school, the Alumni Tailgate Committee. I'm on the Booster Club for 2 of the sports, so you will see me at some football games. I'm a mentor at Foothills Charter High School. I'm also a part of the REACH mentoring program at the high school. Thankful for Families and career days at the campuses are a few of the things that I volunteer at. I attend Knox's Chapel Missionary Baptist Church, where I serve as one of the youth directors there. I'm also on the community impact team. As you can see, my divine purpose is to help the next generation. My love for students and my community is displayed in my daily activities. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you. Mr. Wardle.
Yes. When I was 10 years old, my dad retired from the Air Force, and we moved to the family farm. And when I was 14, I started my first business, hiring other students to help farmers with their needs. In 1970, I entered the United States Marine Corps and served for 2 years. I got an early release from the Marine Corps to go to the University of Wisconsin, where I studied business and information technology. From there, I went on to develop software. In fact, 25 years ago, most people would not know this, but Texas Instruments created one of the first AI programs. I developed software using that AI program for a product called Dow Jones News Service, and was saving business people about $670 a month over what they were currently paying to Dow Jones News Service. From there, I moved into a development team developing software. I then moved on as a software sales engineer for Boole and Babbage, and moved into software management from there and ran the Boole and Babbage storage division out of Conyers, Georgia. And in 2010, I got out of the software business and I created a tutoring company from scratch in Johns Creek, Georgia, ran that tutoring company for 9 years, sold the tutoring company at that point. The tutoring company is still going and growing today under the 2 Georgia Tech graduates that I sold it to.
Thank you, Mr. Wardle. We'll begin with the questions. We're going to start with the questions for city council members and then the school board. So you'll have 1 minute to answer each question. The first question is, what are a couple of small impactful things you want to see implemented in the city? Ms. Price.
Okay, first of all, well, I don't know if this would be small, but what I would like to see is to eliminate property taxes. We were able to roll back this year, and that is something that I want to see continue until hopefully one day eliminate property taxes. I would also like to see more youth programs in our city. Right now, we have a youth council that's involved, and they are learning all about our government and how we operate every day. So I would like to see more of our youth stand up and be a part. And another thing is we've established a pickleball court, which I think is fantastic. And I would like to see more parks here in Social Circle, in our local government, where we don't have to go outside of our community to have those type of things.
Thank you. We'll move on to question 2.
Okay.
What ideas do you have to enhance our downtown, and how do you recommend making them happen?
Well, right now, this council realized that our downtown was like dying, so we decided to purchase 3 buildings downtown to encourage businesses to come to our city, because we would like not only just going to work every day, we would like to have an entertainment district for our community.
Thank you. Question 3. What are areas in Social Circle you feel need attention, and what's the city's role to fix them?
Right now, we're going through the process. I know over in my area, District 1, we have a storm drainage problem when it rains. We have a project going on right now to correct some of those issues. I do hope to get a plan together to see all areas in the city that's been affected by stormwater.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to the questions for the school board. The first question is, what do you see as the primary role of the school board chair or a school board member? Ms. Morris?
Thank you. So the primary role of a school board chair is to facilitate communication between the board. I think that there is a misinterpretation publicly that we're the boss and we can fix everything and we can run everything. The reality is that I rely on the board members I serve with to help make all decisions. I'm only 20% of the voting portion of the board. So it's very important for the board chair to understand that it is my job to facilitate effective communication, to make sure that everybody is heard, and to have communication between the community to the board and myself to make sure that we are fulfilling the obligations of what is expected of our district through the strategic plan.
Thank you. Mr. McGuire?
So I feel the role is to be servant leaders. The positions are in place because they were voted on by the community. And if the values that they hold don't line up with the community, it is hard to do that job. Policy is one of the requirements, the budget is a requirement, and hiring the superintendent is a requirement. But if your values are in misalignment, then when you go to conduct those duties, then it's going to misalign with what the community wants. So effective communication across the board, whether it's with the community, students, teachers, faculty, all of that has to happen, and there has to be an alignment of values in order for them to do their job effectively.
Thank you. Ms. Sanford Flint?
I think the number one role of the school board is to be supportive. And whether we're talking about hiring of the superintendent, supporting his ideas, he is the one that come and actually make suggestions. So a lot of times people look at the role that we can make suggestions, and that's not what we do. So we're there, number one, to support him. Number two, we're there to be great stewards of taxpayers' money. As Ms. Price stated, we have been rolling back also. The community don't see it because your house value went up, so you think your school taxes went up, but that is not the case. So over the last couple of years, we have been rolling back. So we're there, and the most important thing is student achievement. So we are there focusing on student achievement, doing everything that we can do to support the superintendent as he supports the staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wardle?
Well, I think the main focus should be on the students, making sure that the students are getting the education that they deserve. I think that one of the downfalls of the school system, as I view it, is that we don't have effective tutoring for our students to help them in particular areas where they need it. So I think that's something that the school board should be taking a look at. I have 2 grandkids there, a freshman and a junior, and they could use tutoring in the social circle schools.
Thank you. Question number 2, describe the funding allocated to school systems and what role does the board play in usage of those funds? Mr. Wardle, you'll go first.
Well, the usage of the funds should be allocated again to improve the education of the students within the school system. It shouldn't be necessarily focused on activities, but on giving them the best education that they can get. So supporting the superintendent in making sure that we have the right teachers in place and we have the right principals in place to make sure that that's taking place.
Thank you. Ms. Sanford Flint?
The allocation of funds, and when you look at the budget, the majority of the budget goes to personnel. And so with the majority of the budget going to personnel, that's how we're going to have high student achievement, by getting highly qualified teachers to actually teach. So the majority of our budget go to teaching. Now, we also need to make sure we have the right person in the right place as our CFO. And I can definitely say that our CFO is the right person in the right place. So once she came on, she was able to find ways that we can actually maximize the money that we're receiving from the government to be able to support our students in different programs. So it's a lot of programs that are there, and some of the programs that you may not think that we do have them there because of the allocation of the funding being used to support our kids.
Thank you. Mr. McGuire?
So for the budget, it is a finite amount of money, but there's a requirement to balance across the different places that it can be allocated within the school system. So it is a job to figure out what is the best mix so we can have, as some of them have mentioned, the right personnel. How do we support the students? Everything has an overlap in order to make the machine run effectively. The role that the board plays is finding out what matters most, because the budget is going to explain what the priorities are. So if you look at it from one year to the next, if you're able to decipher it, because it can be complicated to some, you can see how the priorities have shifted from one year to the next. Prioritizing the kids sometimes means prioritizing the teachers so that they can have the funds that they need to accomplish what they need for the mission. Sometimes it means prioritizing the administrative staff when certain decisions have been made. So that's their role, is to figure out what is the correct mix in order to provide for the school what needs to be provided.
Thank you. Ms. Morris?
Thank you. So the funding allocated to the school system is going to come from both state, local, and federal sources. So there's going to be a portion that comes from local taxpayers, there's going to be a portion that comes from the state, and a portion that comes from the federal government. That is all going to be determined internally by central office staff. That is who is going to set the majority of our budget, with about 90% of our budget consistently being personnel. So that is why it's very important to have strong leadership in your superintendent, who then employs the rest of their staff. It is not our job to tell them how to write the budget. The strategic plan dictates what our community thinks is important for a 5-year period. Our budget should be aligning with that. We should be very conservative with our funds. We should be making every effort we can to roll back when our basis is increasing, and to take care of students and teachers.
Thank you. Last question. What does the Social Circle school system need to do to continue to ensure student success? Mr. McGuire.
Shortly put, transparency. In order to ensure success, we need to be transparent with the decisions that we're making. We need to ensure we're actually hearing the students. A lot of times decisions are made based on how things were when we were in school, but this is a different generation. So their approach to things, the way they hear things, the way they learn is a little bit different. So in order to be successful, there's some things we can continue doing, but we need to build on that and evolve as necessary so that we can reach the children where they are, how they are, and when they need it.
Thank you. Ms. Morris?
What Social Circle needs to do to continue to ensure student success is to listen to our stakeholders through our strategic plan and take action when necessary. The board that I'm serving with right now got a school built when we talked about it for 35 years. When things need to happen, we got to do them, and we got to make hard choices. And there's a difference between transparency and full disclosure. And we need to be transparent with our community, but full disclosure hurts the system when we're talking about kids and HR matters and people's lives. And so we need to make sure that we're making decisions that are grounded and rooted and taking care of kids and aligning their education with what they have told us is important through our strategic plan and working as a team and not as a me person. That's when kids win, when we have 10 people sitting at a table with different backgrounds and different thought processes.
Thank you. Ms. Sanford Flint?
I think 3 areas that we need to look at for Social Circle City Schools to actually be successful. The thing I would say is my number one thing is dealing with funding. And Ms. Morris talked about the funding, but we have a growing population of 65 and older in Social Circle, and they do not pay school taxes. And so with them not paying school taxes, that is a large money that we're missing out on. So being able to have limited resources while we're meeting the growing needs of our students. The second thing is going to be school safety for me. School safety, just knowing what's been going on at other schools around, we have to make sure that we are doing what's right with school safety. The last thing is going to be dealing with mental health. Mental health is more than just bullying sometimes, which we know a lot of times they'll say we have bullying issues, but we got to talk about mental health. And I think if we address these 3 areas, they're going to be the cornerstone of us having a successful student achievement. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wardle?
One of the areas that I think need to be taken care of, first of all, is to make sure that we're transparent with our parents, with the parents who have students in the school. And we also need to be able to analyze what the student is doing, which is what I did at the tutoring company, is I analyzed what the student was having problems with so that I could help the teachers. And so therefore, if we can do that, we can improve how the students are being taught. And in some cases, we need to do analysis of what the student is doing, and you can do that analysis through AI. It could be very powerful in that area.
Thank you. We'll now have 1-minute closing remarks. Ms. Price, we'll begin with you.
The city of Social Circle means so much to me. That's where I was born and raised, and even after college, I came back to serve. And it's been a pleasure serving the city of Social Circle and meeting new people that have found us. You know, for the longest time in Social Circle, everybody knew everybody. But now you can run into people that you don't know, and it's always exciting to ask someone, hey, how did you hear about us? Where did you come from? And I mean, it's people from out of state, and they just like our small town feel. So today in my closing, I humbly ask for your vote. So when you go vote, just remember, vote Price, because it's right.
Mr. Wardle?
Well, in closing, I'm going to step back to, I sold the tutoring company in 2019. So I went and discussed with the gentleman who owned the company now at this time. All of the tutors that teach there have a master's degree or a PhD. Most of the PhDs are college professors. They are willing to bring that tutoring to Social Circle so that we can see the results like we did in Johns Creek, where we were sending students to Yale, Harvard, Princeton on a regular basis for free. So that, I think, is something that needs to be done in the school system, and that's something that I can accomplish.
Thank you. Ms. Sanford Flint?
8 years ago, I ran for Social Circle City School Board of Education to make a difference in the community and provide a parent's voice. At that time, my focus was to bridge the gap in resources needed to educate all children. Today, I plan to continue building on the progress we have made. As the newly elected Georgia School Board Association Director for Region 11, I plan to use the knowledge and the resources from GSBA to make SCCS better each day. Finally, I am blessed to be a blessing. I have a servant's heart, so being at the table to make decisions for our youth in our community is a top priority for me. I follow in the footsteps of my mother, my uncle, and my cousin, who also served on the school board. I'm excited about the future of Social Circle, and I believe great things are ahead. And with that being said, we're all in for one circle.
Thank you. Mr. McGuire?
Thank you for your time tonight. I'm running for school board chair because I believe our students deserve bold leadership rooted in service, experience, and heart. As a parent of 5 children in our school system, I understand the importance of decisions made at the board level. And I'm committed to making those decisions with transparency, integrity, and community input. Together, we can build a school system that prepares every child to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Ask for your support, your voice, and your vote. Let's give back and let's lead forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Morris?
I want to thank y'all again for having us here tonight. I think it is vitally important to have local elections. National elections are important, but local elections are really what shape your community. I love Social Circle. I love Social Circle City Schools. I love the staff. I love the kids. Win this election or lose it, it's not going to change. I'll be there the same way that I've been a part of this community for 14 years. I ask for your vote. We've done some good hard work. Some of my board members are here tonight, and they would agree with that. We got a lot more to do to be who we want to be and not who we've been. But that takes really strong leadership, and that takes working as a team, hearing every voice at the table, and also being committed to working together even through our differences. And that is something I think our board has lacked for a long time that we've started to really work on. So I'd love to earn your vote.
Thank you. Thank you to the candidates and to the attendees. The City of Monroe Forum will begin at 7:50. Evening. Welcome to the Political Candidate Forum for the City of Monroe elections. We will tonight, well, candidates, I want to direct your attention to the time clock. It will be set for your allotted speaking time for opening remarks, answering questions, and closing remarks. When your time is up, please finish your sentence and your time will end. If you continue to speak, I'll intervene to maintain order and allow each candidate to have equal time. If the timer stops working, Carrie will hold up a piece of paper when you have 10 seconds left. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to make opening statements or introductions. Following all introductions, we'll ask the candidates pre-submitted questions, and you'll have 1 minute to answer each question. We have randomly rotated the order of the candidates for answering each question. After the questions, each candidate will have 1 minute to make closing remarks or rebuttal remarks if needed. Everybody ready? Okay. The candidates tonight are for City Council District 3, Ross Bradley. Charles Boyce IV was invited, but he never responded. City Council District 6 candidates are Tyler Gregory and Danielle Dede Garrett. And City Council District 8 candidates are David Dickinson and Norman Garrett. We'll begin with 2-minute opening remarks. And Mr. Bradley, you can go first.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ross Bradley. I am running for City Council District 3 here in Monroe, Georgia. First off, I'd like to say thank you to all the participants that made this happen, to the Walton County Chamber for putting this together, for the Walton County government for allowing us to stay in this facility, and to everybody that showed up tonight for this forum. I like to claim that I was raised in Monroe, but that I lived and grew up in Social Circle during my adolescence. I graduated from George Walton Academy in 2007. I then went on to earn my Bachelor of Business at the University of Mississippi, where I met my beautiful wife, Hollis. After college, about 13 years ago, we planted roots in Monroe, where we've been since we moved back from college. Since then, we brought 4 beautiful children into the world. During these past 13 years, I have opened restaurants in Monroe. I've served the citizens as a council member in District 3 in 2017 until 2021. I've served the community in the capacity as a law enforcement officer for the City of Monroe. Served on the Boys and Girls Club Board as a member of the Downtown Development Authority, as well as a handful of other local involvements. My heart beats for this city. There's simple instruction in the Bible that is the primary thing for how I live my life. Very elementary, but it's the key. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul and all of your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. For me, that statement can be judged by every relationship that I've ever built. I truly believe that God put me on this earth to serve people well, and I take that responsibility very seriously. While we may not have much time before the election, I hope that if I have not met you before now, that I will have the opportunity to do so, so that you can understand how deeply my heart is grounded in and for Monroe. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gregory.
Good evening. I'm Councilman Tyler Gregory, and it's my honor to sit before you tonight as your District 6 representative. Monroe has come a long way, and I'm proud that I've been able to be a part of it. Over the last decade, helping with its progress. I love this city, and I want to continue to help lead it. I graduated from the University of Georgia. I'm a family man. To my wonderful wife, Lauren, who fights for the children of this community through Child's Voice Child Advocacy Center. I have 2 children, Miller and Bryce, and we've made our home in the Mill Village. My professional life reflects my dedication to making a difference. 12 years ago, I arrived in Walton County, guided by my faith in Jesus, with a calling to serve. Through Youth with a Mission in Loganville, I led overseas missions trips and taught high schoolers the value of loving your neighbor. I quickly learned you don't have to cross oceans to make a difference. My work in Monroe began as the director of the Monroe Walton Center for the Arts, helping revitalize downtown, my first economic development project. I also mentored students from elementary age through college, my first community development project. Currently, I write grants to increase the impact of local nonprofits. I also secure grant funding for cities, counties, and development authorities across the state for infrastructure and economic development. This rich history informs my work on City Council. I always look for ways to engage and serve and improve our community. It takes time to build bridges and to master the tools of local governance. I've attended countless conferences and seminars to learn how to best serve you. Among my key accomplishments, I championed form-based code, ensuring that we have our small-town feel and smart growth. As finance chair, I help make smart fiscal decisions. My economic development expertise guides policies to boost jobs and attract business. Additionally, I've advocated for housing initiatives, partnerships, and policies that increase access to attainable quality homes for everyone in Monroe. These efforts reflect my commitment to building my community for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Garrett?
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Danielle Garrett, known to most as Dee Dee. I'm running for Monroe City Council, and it is my desire to represent District 6. I'm a lifelong citizen of Monroe. I went to Monroe Primary, Monroe Elementary, Carver Middle School, and I am a proud graduate of Monroe Area High School. I got married here. My husband of 27 years is here. His name is Christopher, and we raised 4 children, Alicia, Deja, CJ, and Christian, right here in Monroe. I've always loved this city. I love the small town feel, and up until recently, I never visited a store or a business that I didn't recognize somebody. So, I've never felt unsafe here. I've never had to worry about my children being unsafe here. For me and my family, Monroe is home. And so since my youngest child, Christian, graduated and went off to college, go Jackets, I have been praying and asking God for my next step. So when the opportunity to serve my community presented itself, I knew in my heart, Lord, this is it. So after acknowledging him, I made the decision to run for city council. And as I've been out in my community, meeting people and getting a chance to actually develop some relationships with the people of District 6, I realized that now I not only want to run for city council, but I am the best person to run for city council District 6. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dickinson?
Friends, thank you. I'm David Dickinson. I've been your Super District 8 representative for the past 8 years. For those of you that don't know me and don't know my background, I had the privilege of serving as the mayor in this city about 20-something years ago. I've also served as the municipal judge in the city of Monroe, judge in Walnut Grove, judge in Social Circle. I've spent 40 years of my life in this community as a lawyer. I finally got to retire from that. Rita and I have raised our 3 daughters here. 2 of them still live here. We have 6 grandchildren. Out of that 6, 5 of them still live here, so I'm very invested in the future. It's easy for folks to give you platitudes about what they're going to do or might do. I just want you to look at the record. Go to my website, davidformonroe.com. I have detailed statements on the issues, detailed statements on the accomplishments. Do that. Do your homework. Then make your decision about who you think has actually done the work and will continue to do the work that this community needs and deserves. One of the things I hear people talking about is employment. Go look at this. When I was mayor 20-something years ago, currently the 4 or 5 largest private employers in Monroe all came here during my tenure as mayor, through my work as mayor, through the city council, and through the county development authority. So I produce results, and I just ask you to look at the record and then make your decision based on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Garrett?
I'm Norman Garrett. I'm born and raised in Monroe. I have 2 kids. My wife, Lily Garrett, been with her for roughly around 40 years. So they kind of tell you that I'm a stable person. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about myself. We're going to enlighten you on some of the things that Mr. Dixon liked to do. He forgot to mention about they, for some kind of reason, made it where his wife can take the community building. I don't know how that came about. I just know when we went to executive session, it was already written out agreement before we ever got to even talk about the thing. So what you're seeing is David Dickinson have clearly made himself, his family, a priority for Monroe citizens to actually take care of. The Church Street project, when you see all the curves going down Church Street, that's a David Dixon project. When you see the Children's Center, that's a David Dixon project. When you see that building that he got his wife, that's a David Dixon project. He gonna tell you about some of the other stuff, but that part he won't tell you. So I'm gonna inform you tonight, David Dixon have been here strictly for himself and himself only. He made sure him and his family benefit and them benefit only. David Dickinson just told you he was mayor. He was fired from that after the first 4 years. He told you he was the city judge. He was fired from that. So clearly David Dickinson have been fired from everything that he's actually done. So we need to set the record straight, and we need to fire David Dickinson one more time, because he's been a good person as far as getting fired from stuff that he don't do, that he should be doing, and he likes to say that character. This is the worst display of character that you'll ever run across. Somebody that strictly have did nothing for the city but benefit him and his family. That's all he's ever done since he's been on city council. And I'm asking you tonight to fire David Dickinson and give someone else a chance to do something for the citizen of Monroe. Thank you.
We'll now move on to the questions. The first question, each candidate will have 1 minute to answer the question. The first question is, what specifically can you offer as proof of your plan or intentions to move Monroe in the right direction? Mr. Gregory, you'll go first.
As I mentioned in my opening statement, one of the major things that I've been working on, along with partners like Habitat for Humanity, is housing in the city of Monroe. Partnering with local developers, with Habitat for Humanity, pushing forward policies that allow for workforce housing. Those are the types of things that I've done to make a serious difference. An average house costing $400,000 in the county is not going to be viable for someone who even gets some of our new jobs with places like Rivian or MGM Steel, some of our new jobs. They need to be within around the $250,000 range, and that's not going to happen without collaboration and making partnerships. So that's one of the things that I want to be reelected for, is to continue to push that uphill and to continue to stabilize some of those partnerships and plans so that we can move that forward in the city.
Thank you. Ms. Garrett?
Proof of my plans to move Monroe in the right direction is me being a bridge for the community. My heart is for our citizens. My heart is for the senior citizens. My heart is for everyone in District 6 to be able to come along and enjoy beautiful downtown Monroe as much as anybody else. And I would like to see that happen. I would like to see more diversity. I would love to have to be able to get some of our senior citizens out of their homes sometime and bring them down to the beautiful things that are going on. I love this city, and I would like to see everyone get to enjoy this city as well.
Thank you. Mr. Dickinson?
I think it's very simple. You look at what we have in place and how it got here. I've already talked about bringing the jobs, the commercial development. I was instrumental in getting our fiber optic network throughout the city. That's very important. To follow up on what Mr. Gregory was talking about with the what's called character-based or form-based code, I think that is essential, because that now allows in Monroe, in the interior part, for folks to build smaller houses on smaller lots. They're way more affordable than the averages that we hear about of $400,000. I also am a small business owner in the downtown, and I continue to push to make the downtown attractive for small businesses. That's the heartbeat of the city.
Thank you. Mr. Garrett?
I would like to see Monroe don't always cater to the developers. I think we got a small amount of people that could actually benefit by being able to somewhat build their own property. They keep talking about basically tiny houses, and Monroe have implemented a lot of stuff, and I don't know how many of you actually pay attention to some of the implementation Monroe have done, but some of the stuff they voted on has been some of the worst stuff you could possibly vote on. They've made it where, in some groups, you can build 10 houses on an acre. Where did that make sense at? No one in here should feel like you should be able to build 10 houses on an acre of land. Now, they voted for this. Like he said, go look at his record. His record speaks for itself. I'm not telling you nothing that he don't already know. All you got to do is pull it up. Go to the meeting, pull up some of them. What I'm telling you is actually factual.
Mr. Bradley.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman. As far as specifically offering any proof of a plan, I'm going to focus more on the intentions. And right now, I would also say that I believe that Monroe is moving in the right direction and has been for many, many years now. So for me, what I can bring to this equation is my life experiences. As a restaurant owner with multiple locations and 90 employees, learning how to manage that organization is crucial for the type of position that a city council member serves in. Also, my time in law enforcement and serving on the city council in the past, as well as living close to downtown, being involved with the Boys and Girls Club, I have seen the city at its best of times and its worst of times. The greatest part about the small municipal government structure is that not one single person on a council has any unilateral authority. We all move together as a body forward. What I can bring to that equation is leadership skills that continue to facilitate Monroe moving in the right direction.
Thank you. The second question, how do you feel about growth and development, specifically preferred growth for our city? Mr. Garrett?
Preferred growth, I don't understand what you mean when you said preferred growth. Only thing I know is Monroe is fast growing. Like now, like Ms. Garrett said, you can go to anywhere and be out there for multiple hours and won't see a single person that you know. It's not really that concerning, but I think the traffic over time is going to be concerning to you. We don't have the room to move around enough, I don't think, as far as people getting in and out of their driveways. So we're starting to see a lot of congestion. I don't want to say too congested because you don't want to make people feel unwanted or unwelcome. I just think that we need to try to coordinate the building structure a little bit better. If you look at Church Street, they got multiple subdivisions going up, and I mean, houses going up like left and right, and that itself is going to cause a lot of congestion. I just think that we need to try to be a little bit more safer when it comes to what we're letting actually happen in the city of Monroe.
Mr. Dickinson?
Well, it's very simple. The reason we went to the character-based code is to facilitate that sort of environment, to have houses that people can afford, that they can live in, to make this city a walkable city. We also have the golf cart ordinance. Folks don't have to be in cars to go everywhere in the city of Monroe. Are we going to have a problem with traffic? Yes, we already have one. But I would point this out to you. We have worked for over a quarter of a century to get the bypass that's going to open later this month, that's going to get an awful lot of that congestion out of the center of the city. That didn't just happen. That took hard work by dedicated public servants, and I'm one of them, and I'm very proud of it.
Thank you. Mr. Bradley?
Thank you. Ms. Chapman, how do I feel about growth and development? I think it's inevitable, right? And so we have a responsibility, whoever sits in these seats, to steward that growth in the best way possible for the area and the infrastructure that we currently have in the city. The preferred growth in our city, like I said, because it is inevitable, we have to be able to craft a plan that utilizes the area that we do have. And so I would like to see to keep the foot on the gas, so to speak, for the infill development that the city has been focused on for the last 10 to 12 years. Really looking at the areas, not necessarily in downtown, but throughout different pockets in the community where we can have infill development, but also revitalization of blighted houses or houses that are less, are taken care of and not as stable structure, whatever it may be. So for me, I think the city's on a great trajectory. Unfortunately, there are some things from the past that we cannot change. So I'm for it in the right way.
Thank you. Ms. Garrett?
Well, growth and development is, like he said, is inevitable. Change is inevitable. I would love for it to go back to when I was a child and I could walk down the street and see everybody that I know and things of that nature, but the world is changing. And so I think with the city, the beautiful downtown Monroe, as I call it, is a place where you can come and still get that hometown feel. You don't have to, the growth, and people get to come down and see people with the businesses that are down here, where you can walk downtown and visit shops. I think that in itself will give you that hometown feel that so many of us do miss, but it brings a sense of community, and I think with this growth and development that is a special thing that Monroe has.
Thank you. Mr. Gregory?
The city of Monroe is actually in a great place to deal with future development. One of the best things about the fact that we are redeveloping our sewer plant at the moment is that we have a moratorium in place for the next 5 years. That 5 years, or however long it takes us to construct the plant, has allowed us time to implement the form-based code as we previously have. And again, another one of the reasons that I want to continue my term, to be reelected, is to continue to implement this form-based code. We have to make sure that it's done the correct way. Doing it the correct way allows us the preferred growth of developing the undeveloped parcels in the city into communities and neighborhoods that look exactly like Monroe does now, right? What the form-based code does is it actually goes and looks at what the soul of the city is architecturally and redistributes that throughout the city through a master planning process. That's one of the main reasons I want to make sure to continue that process and implement that in my second term. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 3. What are a couple of small but impactful things you want to see implemented in the city? Mr. Bradley.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman. I've got one project that when I was on the council before, I tried to get moving and I couldn't get any traction, and I hesitate to give too many details about it, but win, lose, or draw, I'm excited about pushing forward with a pavilion project on the northern side of town. Second, one thing that we've talked about for a long time is a sidewalk system in Monroe. And while I know that it is an astronomical amount of money to complete the entire system, there are still areas in town where if you drive, you can see where the sidewalks need to be based off of the rutted out grass on the side of the road. I think filling in these sections of streets where people are already demanding to walk is so crucial for us. And lastly, there's so many things. Lastly, I think that it's important that we continue with the form-based code like some of these council members have mentioned before. It's crucial to allowing not only private property rights, but also to have a city that is vibrant as Monroe is.
Thank you. Mr. Gregory.
One of the things that I would like to see grow and thrive is actually something the Chamber is doing, which is the Minority Business Owners Group. One of the neat things that's happening is a small group of people have gotten together to make sure that the voices in the community that sometimes seem underrepresented or are underrepresented indeed in our business community have a platform and a community to be able to work from and grow from. So I think that that's a really easy solve, building more community, building those bridges, and making sure that everyone is able to have a voice for our downtown, for our business owners. Another thing that I would like to see is actually more of those type of groups from an economic development standpoint. So for instance, we have a great fiber network here and we have a ton of bandwidth. And so running jobs on the internet is a way that we could bring higher paying jobs here. And one of the ways to facilitate that is to have groups that are online that help business owners understand what the strategies are to have a successful internet business as well as maintain citizenship in Monroe.
Thank you. Ms. Garrett.
Since 2020, I have had the desire to get rid of the stigma of policemen and young black men, young black boys. Fear is often anger is often a side of fear. And these young men need to know the policemen of this area. I would love to form some type of town hall meeting where these men can meet with the police officers and just get to know them as people, and get to know them like we're not divided. They're not there and we're here. They are here to serve. And we have never had any issues with our police. I am so grateful for them. My children have never had any issues with the police, but I know of a lot of people that are concerned just from the things that they're hearing on the news. And I think it would be amazing if we could come together and get everyone on both sides together.
Thank you. Mr. Dickinson?
Well, one of the things we're working on right now that I think will have a major impact for the city is to get a quality hotel located in the downtown. And so what we're working on doing is getting that hotel. It would be on the property, the blighted property the city bought from a private owner. We will turn that property over to our development authority. We're already in discussions with a couple of hotel chains about doing that. But people say to me all the time when they come to visit, there's no nice hotel to stay in. We have to go to Athens or Loganville, Bethlehem, or whatever. We need that in the city of Monroe, and we're working on it.
Mr. Garrett?
I definitely agree that we need a nice hotel in Monroe. I'm going to hit on a couple of quick points. I think our parks are looking better than they ever look, but at the same time, the parks don't have any power. You don't have any water. So it's basically like when people come out there or go out there, they don't have no way to clean it. And we see we got ducks everywhere, so you see what's actually going on. And another thing is, I think we need to try to tame some of the taxes that's actually going on. I had somebody ask me how I feel about the county tax, and I basically just asked them how you feel about the city tax. Both of them raised taxes. You mad because one of them raised it higher than the other. I'm mad because both of them raised it. So if you want to talk about one issue, let's talk about both of them. The council members you got now, 3 years ago, me and Mr. Bradley tried to implement a flat tax where the tax would stay the same for 3 years, and David Dixon was one of the ones that really pushed against that. We can't do that. It's a lot of things you can do if we just could vote on them. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll now have 1 minute closing remarks, and Mr. Garrett, you'll go first.
I'd like to thank you for your time. Like I said, I think that we need to fire David Dixon. Him and his family have did an awesome job at benefit off the city. Like I said, you go look, you'll see for yourself. I'm not saying nothing that he's going to dispute because everything I'm telling you is true. And if some way or somehow they don't feel like it's important for us to not raise taxes at some point, which basically means he don't care about the citizens, he cares about himself. I'm asking you to please help me fire David Dixon because he has spent long enough in this seat benefiting for him and his family. 8 years is long enough for somebody to do everything he wanted to do. He started implementing everything time he got there. I don't even know why he want to serve again. I mean, I don't want to call him DT, but DT 2.0 is doing some of the same stuff we're seeing on that's going around the world. And I'm asking you to fight David Dixon.
Mr. Dickinson.
Well, Mr. Garrett, I just can't let your personal attacks go unanswered. So this is what I want people to do. It's really simple. Just go check with Dr. Google. Check it right now on your phone. Google my name, David Dickinson, Monroe, Georgia. Google Norman Garrett, Monroe, Georgia. See what comes up. See which of your candidates has a history of good character and which doesn't. See who's done what, who's accomplished what, and then vote. Vote for your choice. If you think Mr. Garrett is the better person, elect him and see what you get. Elections have consequences, serious consequences. I stand on my record. I stand on what I've done. And what he's saying is essentially a lie and nonsense.
Thank you. Ms. Garrett.
Thank you for allowing me to introduce myself to you tonight. I am running for city council, not just to fill a seat, not just for the title, not just for the job. I am running as a personal representative for the citizens of District 6. I'm a person that they know as their representative, a person that they have access to, a person who keeps them informed as to the things that are going on in our beautiful city. I would like to bring everyone I would like for everyone to know and be informed of the things that are going on in the city and be a part of that city. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Gregory.
Thank you. I'm asking you to re-elect me to continue to build a Monroe where we invest in sustainable growth, where we create opportunities for all, and ensure that our children, mine and yours, grow up in a united, vibrant community. By strengthening partnerships, making thoughtful decisions, and fostering collaboration, I aim to build bridges to a future where Monroe thrives as a place of opportunity and belonging for all. Thank you for your support. Please re-elect me and allow me to continue my work on City Council.
Thank you, Mr. Bradley.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman. In my opinion, municipal government is the last frontier for true public service as the founding fathers designed it. Decisions made today can be in effect by tomorrow. Positive transformation in our city is tangible. It can be seen, it can be touched, it can be discussed by everyone in our community. I am no different than any man or woman in this city. I wake up every day, put my pants on one leg at a time. I go to work to do the best job that I can. I come home, I spend whatever time I have left with my wife and 4 children. I go to bed tired, and I wake up and do that again every day. I say that because I imagine that rings familiar to all of you in the audience tonight.
Amen.
And the only thing I can guarantee you is that I will always show up and that I'll always work tirelessly for all of Monroe. My focus for the next 4 years is simple. I want to target and growing our industrial segment to take the tax burden off of local citizens. I want to continue investing in public safety to ensure competitive salaries and unrivaled training and proactivity. And I want to steward an environment where Monrovians can continue to succeed in small business and doing life with one another. It would be my honor to have your vote this November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you. The Chamber wishes to thank the candidates, the citizens, and the county for allowing us to have this forum here. And a quick reminder to get out and vote to keep the ELOST. It is the penny sales tax to support our public schools. You can find more information on the website yesmakesense.com. The election's on November 4th, and early voting starts October 14th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.